Okay, hey people out there, are you a birther? You know what that is? That's people that are wondering where our illustrious president's birth certificate is, because apparently he can't seem to produce one, and everybody's out there, where's that birth certificate, Mr. President? And I don't know if it's ever come to anybody's attention that there really is no law that says anybody has to have a birth certificate. And up until 1933, when a kid was born, the parents would write it in the Bible, and that was sufficient. But in 1933, because the U.S. corporation was bankrupt, and we had nothing else to, the corporation had nothing else to put up as collateral to the international bankers. What they did is they came up with something called the Maternity Act, and it was kind of a scam, because they told everybody, well, it was for the child's good, and everything is set up, to help out the parents, because a lot of children are being born at home, and that's not safe, so we need to do it right, and we need to give you a birth certificate. But a birth certificate, you'll notice if you look up like in a law dictionary what a certificate is you surrender the title and then you get back a certificate. So what they did, they went to your parents and said, hey, we got a corporation over here. It's called the United States of America, and unfortunately, we got some pretty good privileges and benefits for you, but we just need to have you sign this certificate. And parents unknowingly and unwittingly would sign it, the mother. And notice it's funny thing, they always ask for the mother's maiden name on the birth certificate application, because then you're considered a bastard child, and the government is your father. So what you did is you applied, or you signed the title of your kid over to the state, and they gave you back what's called a birth certificate, or a certificate of live birth, or it's like when you buy a car and you register it with the state keeps the title, and they give you back a certificate of title, or a certificate of registration. But there is no law on the books that says if you're born here on this piece of land that you need to sign up with a bankrupt corporation. And what they do is when your parents register you with the state, you're surrendered. Inadvertently, they're surrendering all of your labor throughout your whole life. You're pledging it to this corporation that is bankrupt, and you're surrendering it to them for a couple of small benefits and privileges, which are you're able to use Federal Reserve notes, which is a fiat currency. You're able to, it's not a bad deal, but it's not a great deal for you, because what it does, it basically turns you into a slave. And now 40% or 50%, or basically all of your income now, is being paid back in taxes. You're taxed from the minute you get up in the morning till the minute you go to bed. But my point here is that there is no law that says you have to have a birth certificate. And everybody's out going, where's that birth certificate, Mr. President? You know what? Maybe his fucking parents didn't want one. And if I ever have another kid, I ain't going to give him one. Because if you don't have a birth certificate, you don't pledge your kid over to the government, he's what's known as a sovereign human being. And all their codes and statutes and all their bullshit doesn't apply to him. And I think that's what's going on with President Obama. He's a sovereign. He's not a slave. When you say you're a citizen, look that word up. I'm a U.S. citizen. Puffed up your chest. Oh yes, I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm not an illegal. I pay my taxes. What you're saying is you're a slave, and it's not like you're legally allowed to be here if you're a citizen. What a citizen is, it's a title of a corporation, because when your parents registered you with the state, and then they registered you with the government, and then you sign an SS-55 for a Social Security, you handed over power of attorney to your what's called the Sustake Trust, which is they set up a trust in your name, which is a corporation, which you pledged all of your the proceeds of the corporation to a bankrupt corporation called the U.S. government. So Barack Obama not having a birth certificate, who cares? There's no law that says he has to have one. He could have been born on the fucking moon. Who cares? We're the idiots. Where's that birth certificate, Mr. President? You can't be a president if you're not a slave. Bullshit. His parents were fucking smart, probably. And they said, we're not doing that. And I don't know a lot about the guy, but it doesn't even matter to me. But my point is that when you're born, we're duped into signing a birth certificate. We just go along to get along. Nobody even reads anymore. Nobody even looks into it. They don't know what it is. They just do it because the rest of the sheep are doing it. And I have a lot of information that might be interesting to some people. And you can go to my blog. It's called stopthepirates.blogspot.com. And if you're interested in this kind of information about where we are, what's going on with the birth certificate, why there is no law that anybody needs to have a birth certificate, why we're all duped and suckered into pledging our children, and our parents pledged us over to a bankrupt corporation called the United States. It's www.stopthepirates.blogspot.com. Thanks.